To add or subtract rational expressions having different denominators, the first step is to find the least common denominator. To accomplish that, we will factor each of the denominators so that we know what the factors are. This trinomial from the first rational expression factors into x minus 2 times x plus 1. The second denominator has this trinomial, which factors into x minus 2 times x minus 1. Our least common denominator will need to have an x minus 2. It will also need an x plus 1, and the last factor will be x minus 1. Our next step then is to express each one of these rational expressions with that least common denominator for an equivalent expression. So taking our first rational expression and replacing that trinomial in its equivalent factored form, we have the following. It's going to be easier to determine what's missing for that least common denominator, and what is missing is the x minus 1 factor. Multiplying numerator and denominator gives us a value of 1, which will give us an equivalent expression. Likewise, we'll do the same with the next rational expression. In place of the trinomial, we'll put its equivalent factored form of x minus 2 and x minus 1. It is missing the x plus 1 factor. Expressing x plus 1 over itself is the same as multiplying by 1, but will give us that common denominator. Next, we'll simplify our multiplication. We have a FOIL here for our multiplication of those two binomials. First term's x squared, outer is a negative 1x and another negative 1x from the inner, combined for a negative 2x. Last term's positive 1 over the denominator of x minus 2, x plus 1, x minus 1. In the next multiplication, we have a subtraction of this quantity, which is the same as plus a negative if we use our definition for subtraction. And simplifying then, we will use the distributive property, taking negative 3 times x in the numerator and negative 3 times 1 for the following, and in the denominator we'll leave this in this factored form for simplification later on. We now have accomplished a common denominator so that we can combine the numerators. There is no term other than the x squared, but we have similar terms in negative 2x plus a negative 3x for negative 5x, and positive 1 plus negative 3 is negative 2 over that common denominator of x minus 2, x plus 1, and x minus 1. The numerator is a trinomial that is prime. We cannot find factors of 2, which would be 1 and 2, one positive, one negative, that will add up to be 5, and so we have it in simplified form.